Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Yeah, it's been a while since I recorded one of these, huh? Well, in the time it's taken for me to finally get around to doing it, I've gotten a new computer. Well, that's really the main thing, isn't it? Well, it's finally that time. We're doing more Minecraft, and oh boy, do I have plenty to talk about. So there's a few different things I want to talk about. First of all, so Concord is okay. So for those of you who don't know, Concord is a hero shooter with a diverse cast that is, well, it came out. It's been in development for like 8 years, and it finally came out this year. And 2 weeks after release, it is going away. They're taking it offline now. Granted, they said that they want to like fiddle with things, so it probably won't be gone forever. But yeah, it's pretty rough, isn't it? I feel sorry for anyone who's a fan of that game, and I've seen a lot of people have some really like weird takes about like why it failed, and I don't understand them. Like, I've seen some people say, "Oh, it failed because of diversity, DEI, go woke, go broke," you know, those kinds of people. And I've seen, and it's like, no. It was just an incredibly generic, like, hero shooter in the year of our Lord, 2024. In what world is that going to survive? When you got games like Overwatch, TF2, Valve's upcoming Deadlock. Oh, wow, game is pretty loud. It's a bad environment for it. It was never going to succeed. Like, people didn't like it from the preview that we saw, not because of diversity or whatever, but just because it looked incredibly bland and generic and annoying, with like bootleg Guardians of the Galaxy style writing. That game was doomed from the word go. And I do feel sorry for the developers. Because, one, there's a lot of people who are kind of grave dancing, which, like, I'm someone who doesn't like live service games typically. There's a few I like. Like, I think a good example of one I like is Deep Rock Galactic. Forever Winter that's coming out looks good. So I'll probably get into that. I hope I like it. Let's see, what else was I thinking of? Helldivers 2 before the balancing got like completely borked. You know, stuff like that. I can enjoy live service games, but a lot of live service games these days are made not with the intent to make a game that people will want to keep playing because the game is fun, but to nickel and dime players for every last dollar that they have. Oh, no. Oh, well, okay, y'all. There will be death. There will be blood. God, I hate this combat. Concord just never stood a chance, in my opinion. I wasn't interested. Not because of diversity, but because I just didn't care. It's not the kind of game I'm interested in anymore, and I imagine it's the same for 90% of people. Like, a lot of people who engage in, like, culture war stuff, like, really don't understand that 90% of people do not care at all about this sort of thing. Because, like, there are plenty of games that are extremely successful that have, like, diverse characters. Plenty of movies, plenty of TV shows. So it's like, what are you hoping to accomplish? You know, like, what's your point? Because whatever your point is, it ain't holding up. Yeah, I feel sorry for the developers. Because, again, like I was saying, people are kind of grave dancing, which I don't know how I feel about that. Because, like, we shouldn't be okay with art getting lost unless it's straight up, like, illegal. Like, you know, child porn or something like that. If something is, like, not illegal, I don't think we should be okay with losing art. Even if it's not art you care about or particularly like. Like, no matter what way you shape it, that's 8 years of work that are going down the drain if the game is shut down forever. Like, I know Sony's probably going to try and bring it back as a free-to-play game, but if they don't rework the game from the ground up and improve on it in, like, every single aspect, it's going to fail again, and then that's just going to be it. It's just not an enviable position for the developers to be in. I don't understand people who are like want games to fail. Like on the one hand, live service games failing can help to illustrate to publishers that, you know, we don't want these kinds of games anymore. We just want games that are made to be fun games and not overly monetize, like, money sinks, you know? But on the other hand, whether you like live services or not, people work on those for extensive periods of time, and there are probably a lot of people who were proud of their work on Concord, regardless of how you might feel about it. It's just a depressing situation, just all around. I forgot I had so many diamonds. What the heck? I don't know where these zombies are, but they are annoying. Hold on. Well, there they are. Y'all mad annoying. I need to come down here and light this place up because there's just so many monsters that are just spawning down there. What else did I want to talk about? I know there were some things I wanted to talk about, but now I'm struggling to figure them out. Oh yeah, I've changed up my stream schedule, and I've started multi-streaming, which means I stream on both YouTube and Twitch simultaneously. And I really think it's helped viewership because, like, it's more likely that people are going to see my streams and, you know, tune in. I am getting an introductory video made, which should hopefully help to advertise my streams and, you know, put them out there, and also have something that I can, like, put on my channel so people who stumble across it can, like, see it and go, huh, so that's what this guy's deal is. Okay, I might check him out. I've realized that in a lot of ways I've been kind of failing to properly put myself out there. Like, I'll just put a video up and then just let it accumulate views, which might work for someone like PewDiePie or Markiplier or, you know, other people like that, but it sure as heck don't work for me, Mr. Doesn't even have 4,000 subscribers. And hey, you know, speaking of engagement and stuff, if you're enjoying this video, you know, maybe, you know, leave a like and a comment, you know, telling me what you think of it. And subscribe if you want to see more of this. And hey, if you want to support me, maybe you can drop a $5 on my Ko-Fi, which will be linked in the description. Sorry if that was a little obnoxious. You kind of got to play the game, don't you? Come on, give me some flint. I need a single piece of flint. Just the one. I probably should have made a shovel before I did this. Oh, wait, I got it! Okay, never mind. You know, I definitely need to expand my reach somehow. If y'all have any ideas as to, like, stuff I can do to expand my reach and visibility without, like, being annoying, let me know in the comments, because I will absolutely take ideas into consideration. As long as those ideas are not having a Twitter, because Twitter is it's a cesspool. It's awful. The day my Twitter got suspended was actually just a blessing in disguise, I feel like. Like, I feel like I was spared some horrible fate. If that makes any sense. Well, might as well get something done. So let's hit up the nether. I need to clear out my inventory. It's a mess. Oh, I remember one of the things I wanted to talk about. So, Risk of Rain 2 got new DLC recently. And, it's been a bit on the rough side. It's been a mess on all fronts. Like, okay, so what happened, right, was they didn't just, you know, like, okay, the DLC itself came out pretty, unpolished. There's some, like, bugs with some of the items. Animations for one of the new survivors are unfinished. It's just a messy situation all around. But not only did all that happen... here we go. Here, I can go up here. Not only did all that happen, but the code base from the console version got ported over onto PC, replacing the current code base. And oh my goodness, have things gone straight to the pits. So essentially, among other things, frame rate and game physics ended up being tied together, which ended up causing a lot of trouble, which that's not something you ever want to happen. Ever. And the reason that it happened, I believe, is because the functions for frame rate and physics or something like that are named similarly, and the developers came off of Unreal, so they got them confused. which doesn't make it any less of a significant mistake. But it's understandable with that context that they had to, like, learn a new engine. Apparently, though, the DLC was in a better spot at one point before the console codebase was ported over, and I think from what I remember from the developer interview that stated that, is the reason they ported over the console codebase, bugs and all, was because they wanted to, like, you know, start with the lowest common denominator and work their way up to create true parity between console and PC, so that any bugs and fixes that happen will be universal, and you won't have these weird instances of, like, bugs from one version don't apply to another, you know, things working a little differently. Basically, they don't want there to be a Java edition versus Bedrock edition situation. And honestly, that's a noble goal, in my opinion. So it's like, with the context of that, things breaking the way they did is a little bit more understandable. But it's hard not to be frustrated at the growing pains and how rough things are right now. Because, let's be real, things are pretty rough right now. Mostly, I've managed to avoid running into any bugs, and I am grateful for that. But I also fully understand that I am an anomaly in that regard, and my experience does not speak for the experience of the majority of people who have been playing Risk of Rain 2 recently. That being said, I really don't think all the doom posting about it is warranted. Like, you know, it's so over, you know, YouTubers don't have careers anymore. What the heck is happening there? Is that a submerged nether portal? That's a submerged nether portal. Well then. But it's like, guys, things are going to be okay. We're in a rough spot right now. There's no denying that. But they're going to fix it up. And Secrets of the Storm sold quite well, so they're going to make more content in DLC. Like, this isn't necessarily Gearbox's fault. That being said, Randy Pitchford is a raging buffoon. He has, like, basically been pretending the bugs don't exist. He's been downplaying it, and he described Chef literally not functioning correctly as some jank they tolerated. Sir? And according to him, he was, like, helping playtest the DLC and stuff. And I'm like, you would have noticed half of these issues if you had been. So I don't believe you. It's not like Randy Pitchford doesn't have a history of lying to make himself look better. It's not like he doesn't have a history of terrible behavior and being really weird and dumb. Oh, you want the smoke, huh? Right. You're hostile unless I have gold. Fair enough. It's like, you know how advertising companies describe Elon Musk as a brand risk? Randy Pitchford is a brand risk for Gearbox, and he just needs to be fired, or at least step down as CEO. He shouldn't have the pull he has over the company, because he's just incredibly incompetent in all regards. And I don't care what anyone says, you're not going to convince me otherwise. I don't understand why some people will just relentlessly go to bat for Randy Pitchford when his capability to just make an absolute buffoon of himself is on constant display. And he acts like incredibly smarmy. Like, when people are understandably upset with him, he'll be like, oh, why all the hate? And it's just like, dude, shut up. People don't like you, and they have plenty of reasons not to like you. It is on you to do something about those reasons. It just seems like an incredibly unprofessional individual who doesn't know what he's doing, and is really only still at Gearbox because he has seniority, because he was one of its founders. And lest we forget, he downplayed the criticisms of Alien Colonial Marines, you know, despite the fact that it was very obviously a mess of a game, that it was just a really bad game. And it is endlessly funny to me that it was discovered that there was a single line of code in that game that was misspelled, that was making the xenomorphs not act properly. I mean, their AI still isn't, like, amazing, but it's a lot more competent once you fix that typo. It's like, Surely I'm not the only one who thinks that that was deliberate sabotage, right? Well, okay, I don't actually think that. It was probably just a very genuine mistake, but I don't know how that wasn't caught. Of course, there's also the fact that staff was pulled away from Colonial Marines, I believe, to work on Borderlands 2? I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I remember hearing that. But it was just clown behavior. And also, he was executive producer on Duke Nukem Forever, and that means he had to have seen the Hive scene, knew exactly what was in it, and the fact that it turned SA into a punchline, and did nothing about it. He didn't say anything like, hey, guys, maybe we shouldn't do this. I don't understand how you butchered the character of Duke Nukem that badly. He's not a complex character. He's a macho 90s action hero that spouts movie references and is cool. How do you mess that up? I don't understand. When the twins that this dude has, like, you know, at his side, when the twin girls he has at his side get kidnapped by the aliens, he goes, "Not my babes! Not in my town!" And it's like, it's a genuinely really good line read. By the way, John St. John, if you ever watch this, I think that is one of your best line reads. There's so much emotion you put into the Duke voice without breaking the voice. And it's absolutely fantastic. But then later on, he finds them alongside, you know, hundreds of other poor innocent women in the alien hive getting, let's say, violated. And his response to them begging for help is to make a pun at their expense. I'm like, shut up. Whoever wrote that, please lose your job. I'm begging you. Never find work in the industry again, you absolute clown shoe of a person. Like, ugh. I have very personal reasons for finding that joke as disgusting as I do. Like, it's disgusting no matter what you've been through, but as an SA victim myself, I hate it. I hate it so much. And it's like, I feel like that entire sequence is the thing that solidifies Duke Nukem Forever's failure to actually portray Duke Nukem correctly. Like, there are ways to make him more nuanced without making him a terrible person. And no, one of those methods is not making him lame. If you do that, it needs to be at the start of the game, and then he needs to get back into shape quickly. Like, I don't know, maybe he's unmotivated because, you know, nothing's happened and people have been, like, increasingly prone to using him for clout or insulting him because they see him as a has-been, and then he gets the motivation to fight again and he just, like, quickly returns to the absolute badass action hero he used to be. God, that word has been ruined by people like Cliffy B and like Cliff Blazinski and Randy Pitchford. It's like, I kind of like twitch a bit when I say it. Dude, I'm going to be honest, I have no idea where I am in relation to everything else. I'm somewhere. I don't know where. It's just rough. It's just incredibly rough. So, in case you can't tell, I do not like Randy Pitchford. And if I were alone in a room with him, I would tell him exactly why, and then break down the door if I had to get out of the room with him, because he's such a slimy piece of work. It's like, I don't like hating people. I don't. It goes against what I believe in, both religiously and morally. But it's just so hard, dude, because he's so repeatedly does things that are just absolutely deplorable, and or acts in such a way that makes everyone around him seem worse by proxy because they have to deal with him. It's like I said earlier, the dude's a brand risk. I feel sorry for all the developers at Gearbox, especially the ones working on Risk of Rain 2 that had to push out a borked DLC that wasn't ready to be sold because they had to bring over the console code base, and in doing so, a lot of stuff broke, and they weren't able to fix it in time because of release date mandates. I think the thing that bothers me the most about the DLC debacle is when it's working, I love it. The Seeker is an absolutely amazing addition to the roster. Once everything's fixed up and once some mods get, like, you know, updated and everything, I think she's going to be my new main. Just going forward. Because she's really fun to play. She's a good mix of combat and support. And she's the right kind of support for a game like Risk of Rain, where she can hold her own in a fight, but she can also be a massive boon to her teammates if played correctly. Like, you can do solo runs of Seeker quite reliably if you know your stuff. And I really do think that she's a good addition to the game. One thing that does bother me, though, is that there's 3 new survivors, right? And granted, what I'm about to talk about might just be a result of the fact that the DLC is, well, unfinished. But there's 3 new survivors. I forgot to turn off my stream. I forgot to turn off my sound alerts for my stream because I'm using Streamlabs to record this. And someone just subscribed on YouTube, so it played the subscribe alert. Well, I'm here. Thank you, Natasha Karazols, if I'm saying your name right, for subscribing to my YouTube. Oh, what was my train of thought? Oh, right. There's 3 new survivors in Secrets of the Storm, and there's a new event, you know, a new boss, called the False Sun, which is an optional boss fight that is probably the hardest in the game. Well, the hardest without being bad, unlike Void Fiend. I hate Void Fiend so much. Why would you put an instant kill AoE on a move that, like, has a tractor beam effect? If you don't have the movement speed, you're just doomed. But, yeah, if you beat False Sun with a survivor, you get a new skin. And it's one that goes alongside the standard and mastery skins. And that's cool. I like that. I actually unlocked the one for, Void... Is it? Did I get the boss name wrong? Okay, so I was wrong. I was misremembering because brain bad. Void Fiend is the survivor. Voidling is the boss. I hate Voidling. But, like, I unlocked the skin for Void Fiend, and it's pretty cool. I'll put it on screen now if I remember to do that, but it's called Sanctified, and it's weird, but, like, good weird. It's interesting looking. I dig it. I dig it a lot. But for some reason, the 3 new survivors don't have skins for beating the False Sun with them. And I don't know why. Well, okay, outside of, you know, the DLC being likely unfinished to some degree. I don't understand why that's the case if it's deliberate, though. I hope they do add them, because I really do want to see what Chef and Seeker's third and tertiary skins would be. The other one, too, but the third survivor is a spoiler, so I don't want to say its name. All I'll say is that I really like where it's going. I just think it needs some work. Like, some of the animations are borked. Its kit feels a little incomplete. But I think the core concept of it is really strong. Okay, yeah, I don't think there's going to be I don't think there's going to be another fortress in this direction. I'm just going to keep going until I die. Why not? Speaking of, like, other games, what are some other games y'all want to see me do? I've been thinking about that, because I do want to do other games that aren't Minecraft at some point. Like, you know, obviously we've got the edited videos. In fact, I've got a Lethal Company video in the works. Hi? Alright. Have fun, I guess. Please move. Thank you. But, like, are there any other games y'all would want to see me play in this format, where it's, like, lightly edited? And it's just me talking about stuff while I game? I think that'd be neat. So if you got any suggestions, drop them in the comments below. I think I'm going to keep going with this until I either die or find another fortress. Which, well, granted, will probably lead to me dying in short order, but, you know. I hear another ghast. Not good. Oh, yep, there it is. Oh, you want to go? Dude, I walked into that fight so confident. Then and I just got utterly owned. Oh, well, I think that's a good stopping point. Thanks everyone who watched. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you all in the next one. Sorry it took so long to get another one of these out. Stay safe out there, everybody. Goodbye.